Welcome back to another episode of the 393 Legacy, a Gorilla podcast. It's hard to believe it, but we're here. We're here with Mykia Finnegan, and he is here, and we are going to visit with him, the last one. Save the best for last, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll see, but stay tuned, okay? Stay right there. A lot of things happening, of course, this time of the year. And so as we transition to the last couple of weeks of school, last week for Mykia and his classmates, of course, here at Solomon, but on Monday, we've got the Recreation Commission meeting at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock with the board meeting. And then on Tuesday, no school because we're going to do a little bit of in-service, switching over to some new curriculum with our elementary. They're going to work on some curriculum work. And then we host the league junior high track meet. And so that'll be great to have everybody here at our facility in the afternoon. So sort of works out both ways. And we had no snow days this year. We had one snow day. So we definitely had some built in there. So it's allowed our teachers to get some prep time and also allow us to host a wonderful event here. And so Wheat State League Golf on that day as well is down at Heston for their league golf tournament down there on Wednesday the 13th. And there's something going on every day next week. So the 13th, you've got senior awards and recognition night. We want to go and listen to the wonderful accomplishments of all of our seniors as you've listened throughout the year on our podcast, but we get a chance to recognize them. We're going to talk about all the things and all the scholarships that they might be receiving. You may already have an inclination of where this young man's going to school. Just a little hint, maybe just a little. And then on Thursday, the day that everybody in this room as we're recording is waiting for, which is the seniors' last day. And so that is next Thursday. They'll do their prep and they'll do their walkthrough and take their picture and be on their way and do their checkout. And at the same time, our Wheat State League and Mykia will compete for a league championship down at Harrington for the Wheat State League tournament track meet. So that'll be awesome. Hey, I was wrong. Friday, there's nothing on Friday. So relax, but gear up for Saturday, which Saturday is graduation, 10 a.m. in the high school gym. And so a fun-filled week of Solomon activities and a chance to celebrate all the wonderful accomplishments that have happened here during the year and during their time here at Solomon as we end the whole week with graduation on Saturday. So, all right. Well, there's the preview. There's a lot. I talked really, really fast. Hopefully you got that. If not, rewind it, right? But Mykia, welcome to the couch.
Thank you.
How are you? We've been trying to do this, right?
Yeah.
So I apologize. It's just that time of year for everybody. Something comes up and we're doing this now as I'm headed out to take golf to a golf meet. So Mr. Underwood can actually be in the classroom. So appreciate you sitting down for a little bit of a opportunity to chit chat. So tell the listeners about yourself, your family, and anything you want to share.
All right. So I've been a student at Solomon High School since first grade. Along the journey, I've been able to do football, basketball, track, and cross country, of course. And football and basketball are sports that I didn't really excel at, but Kiara and Logan, they got me into cross country.
Yeah.
And it just kind of took off from there. And I've just been able to kind of have that gorilla look. For my school in cross country and track and the distance department.
So we'll come back to track and cross country in a minute. So before we get too far down the road, because your dad's going to be mad if we don't recognize him, right?
Yeah.
So you better give him a shout out, right? And tell the listeners who your dad is.
So my dad is Garvin Finnegan, and he works at FedEx.
Yeah.
And my mother is Kiana Griffin,
Yep.
and she works at DG. And they've both been super supportive of my academics, actually more about my academics than my athletics, as a parent should be.
For sure.
So I can definitely thank them for the GPA that I've been able to have and the scores that I've been able to get on the testing.
I actually remember the first time when you were a first grader, because I was the elementary principal at that point. And I remember the first time that I met your dad, and it's been great throughout the years as well. So that's why I said you better, because he's going to give me a bad time if we don't give him a shout out, Yeah. No, I'm just joking. It has been great to see, the years. And that's one of the things I love about being here for 12 years is to see you guys as little kids and then, walk across stage next Saturday. So let's transition back a little bit to the cross country and to track, but let's start with cross country. So tell me your favorite cross country memory.
My favorite cross country memory would probably have to be either the first time our team made state, because I mean, my freshman year I made state individually, but it's not that fun, going to state by yourself.
Yeah.
So my junior year, we were able to score like second place, I think, at regionals, and just the hype of the kids below me and Logan, it was just, I don't know, I'll never forget that memory.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now, the day probably wasn't the best day of state.
No.
I figured that might be a memory too.
Yeah, state as a team the very first year, that was at Wamego, and it was muddy, and
I'd say for the listeners, it was downpour, mud everywhere, kids slipping and slide. It was like a big slip and slide is what it was.
yeah, it was
Up the hills and down the hills, literally on your backside sometimes. So no, but it was a great accomplishment and a great memory, of course, for you guys. So goals for track. We talked about league track coming up here next week. And so any goals for league track?
Yeah, so I would love to be able to, keep climbing that ladder that we have. I'm ranked third in all of my events in Solomon history, and I would love to, push to second place.
Sure. That's awesome. Great goal to have there. As we transition, and I was joking, but not joking, I'm so happy you dressed the way you did today because the listeners obviously know where you're going. But talk about how you chose that you're going to go to Wichita State and how did you arrive at that decision?
So back before when I was indecisive of the occupation that I wanted to go into, my dad was leading me towards like Medicare and stuff like that. And my senior year is actually the year where I was like, that's not what I want to do. So I did some diving into the schools that I found interesting, like University of Arkansas and Wichita State University and K-State. And I found an interest in mechanical engineering. So I decided to dive deeper into that. And I wanted to stay in Kansas. So it fell down to Wichita State University and K-State. And then it fell down to price, and Wichita State University just gave me more benefits than K-State did.
Sure. So mechanical engineering. So when you finish up with that, what's the plan beyond? What are you going to use with that engineering degree? What would you like to do?
Well, I would like to hopefully be able to continue schooling through business and hopefully be able to start a business through mechanical engineering.
Okay, good. So self-employment, then that's awesome.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship spirit. Wichita State's a great place for that too. It really is. So you picked a good school. In any of our state schools are good, but some are known for some different things. And so definitely engineering and business combination is perfect there. And any nervous about next year? Excited? Where you at?
Honestly, no, I'm not really that nervous. I'm going to go in with a level head. I know that college is going to be harder than high school, but
Sure.
I've made it 12 years here. I can make it 6 years there.
Yeah. Are you going to live on campus in the dorms?
So yes, my first year they require you to live in the dorms, and then my second year I might go move in with some of my girlfriend's family.
Yeah.
And just do that and pay off a rent.
Yeah. As you look to, memories, as you talked about being here since first grade. So what are maybe some memories you have throughout the years that stand out? We talked about the cross country, of course, but are there any other memories? And then we'll talk about some shout outs to some teachers, but any memories you want to share?
Yeah. Okay.
That are appropriate for the listeners.
Okay. So as a child, I was a really naughty child here, and I feel bad about that. So like 1st to 5th grade, I was really naughty. I was probably in the principal's office all the time. So I would say there was a lot of memories there, and one specific one that stood out to me was I had to get my head shaved like an old man because I lied to my dad, and we came to the school, and I was like begging my teachers to let me wear my hoodie so I didn't have to show anyone.
You didn't want your classmates to see that you shaved your head. Hey, now there's nothing wrong with shaving your head. Okay. Now I just do it because it keeps my gray hair out there. Yours was a little different reason, of course. So it grew back though.
Yeah.
Yes, it grows back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now as you look back, that is a cool story. As you look back and think about those teachers throughout time from first grade all the way up, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yes, actually, I have a lot. Yeah. So
Awesome.
Miss Cross was my third grade teacher. She
Yeah.
was just very influential, and she was the one that probably had the hardest time with me in elementary school because, yeah, that's when I had to get my hair shaved. Mr. Reardon, I don't know, he's been my inspiration as well as in sports.
Yeah.
And Dr. Guy, she helped me with my mathematical pursuit.
Yeah.
I just loved her, and that's the reason why that she's been a big part of my mechanical engineering because she was able to help me understand the maths.
Yeah.
Mr. Norgren, of course, that's probably more of a coach aspect, though, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mr. Underwood, our class representative, he's just been with us all 4 years. He's helped us grow.
Yeah. Some amazing ones there. And you know, like Mrs. Cross, I'm glad you mentioned her because it was also a time you just said it was you were naughty. I mean, I appreciate your honesty because you're looking back and you're truly reflecting upon your time. And so Mrs. Cross, who is going to appreciate that, she'll hear it. Right.
Yeah.
And so here you gave her a few gray hairs. She may not admit it, but right. And so maybe frustrated. She's going to love hearing that because I think as you look back and you grow and mature, sometimes our elementary teachers don't get the opportunity to hear that. Right.
Yeah.
Because as you get older, you mature and then Mr. Underwood sees that, you know, Mr. Norgren sees that, but, you know, Mrs. Cross and your elementary teachers, they're glad to hear that,
yeah,
you know, because they were influential in your maturity as a student and as a person. So that's awesome. That is great. Any words of wisdom, if you were to do it all over again as a freshman, what advice would you give a freshman coming in?
Well, there's these two quotes that I've run by my senior year. And one of them goes like, if you have a passion about something, do it every single day, even if it's hard, because eventually it will get easier. The hard part is doing it every single day.
It's true.
And then the second one is always put your academics over your athletics. You don't get to do athletics if your academics are down. So make sure that your academics are at the standard that they should be.
Well, that's a credit to your family and them putting the importance on it, even though you might not liked it at times, right?
Yeah.
But I do think that's very key. And then the perfect first quote for a long distance runner, right?
Yeah.
If I'm going to have to go out and put miles and miles in, that first one may not be so good, but if I do it over and over, it gets better.
Yeah.
So awesome quotes to live by. Appreciate that. Anything else for the listeners?
Just stay in school, stay devoted. If things are hard at the moment, just know that they will get better.
Time will pass.
Yes.
Yeah, it will. Just got to keep pushing through. That's right. That perseverance is a key, you know, and you were very wise early in this interview and talking about how next year it'll be different. It'll be harder, but you're very grounded. You have a good head on your shoulders there because it will be hard. You will be challenged. Calc 1, 2, 3. I mean, those are going to challenge you every single time. But like you said, you just got pushed through next day. And so appreciate you sitting on the couch. Enjoyed it. One of the best for last. Is that what they say? Whatever the quote is. I don't know, but it is the last one. Man, it went by fast.
Yeah, it did.
It's already here. It's just crazy. Next week you'll be graduating but I do appreciate you sitting down. It was a great conversation. Got a chance to learn a lot about Mykia and his future and true reflection. And so I'm so happy. I look back and all the people that are graduates have given shout outs to our staff, some that are with us and some that have gone to other places. But the one thing that I think is so true is that you see a true appreciation of when you're getting ready to walk across that stage, and a true appreciation of our staff and everything that they did. Is Teacher Appreciation Week. So what a great way to end it. I appreciate you doing that. We hope to see everybody at all the events next week. There's a lot going on. And then most importantly, 10 o'clock next Saturday, the class of 2026 will become alumni.
Yes.
How about that? That's right. That's pretty cool. So until next time, we'll do a wrap up one at the end of the year. We got a special one for probably 2 weeks until we run another one, but we've got one more before we let you go for the summer. But thanks for joining us on the 393 Legacy, a Gorilla podcast. We'll see you in a little while.
Go Gorillas.